He started out in the late 50s as India's most promising young batsman. In the early 60s, he was one of the country's leading all-rounders. And from the mid to the late 60s, he was the bulwark of the Indian batting. So for just over a decade, Chandu Borde was very much in the thick of it all. The fact that he was the only Indian in the rest of the world team that played Barbados in a commemoration match in 1967 speaks of the high regard that the cricketing world had for Borde's ubiquitous skills. As a batsman, he was capable of every stroke in the book. He modelled his batting after Vijay Hazare, but was a shade more adventurous. He was also a more than able leg spinner, capable of winning matches for India, till a shoulder injury in 1964 curbed his bowling. As a fielder, Borde was one of the very best, initially excelling in the outfield and later doing fine work in close-in positions. Borde's career had a storybook start when in his first Test series he scored 109 and 96 against the all-conquering West Indian side in 1958-59. For the next few years, he displayed his all-round skills in abundant measure. With Salim Durrani, he played a leading role in India winning the rubber against England in 1961-62. One of the best players of fast bowling, Borde made runs consistently and handsomely against Mackenzie, Hall and Griffith. He probably reached his peak when he got to centuries in 3 tests against West Indies in 1966-67. He failed on the tour of England that followed and had mixed luck on the Australasia trip in 1967-68. By the end of the decade, his reflexes had considerably slowed down, and with the selectors plumping for youth, Borde was one of the first casualties. Happily, however, he has stayed with the game as manager of touring teams, where his considerable expertise has proved invaluable, and as chairman of the selection committee. Chandu Borde debuted in Test cricket against West Indies at Brabourne Stadium, Mumbai, on 28 November 1958. His last Test match was against Australia, also at Brabourne Stadium, Mumbai, on 4 November 1969. Chandu Borde played 55 Test matches, 97 innings, and scored 3,061 runs with a decent batting average of 35.59. His highest score of 177 not out against Pakistan at Chennai in 1961 didn't help at all as the match ended as a dull draw. He hits 5 centuries and 18 half-centuries in his entire Test career. As a fielder, he took 37 catches. Chandu Borde also took 52 wickets with a bowling average of 46.48. His best bowling of 5 for 88 against England at Chennai in 1964 didn't help much as the Test ended in a draw. Chandu Borde had a super-hit first-class record. He played 251 matches, 370 innings, and scored 12,805 runs with a good batting average of 40.91. His highest score in first-class cricket is 207 not out. He has 30 centuries in his kitty. He also took 331 wickets in first-class cricket with a super-strong bowling average of 27.32. His best bowling in first-class cricket is 8 for 52.